The National Weather Desk. The winter weather continues.
I mean, road's up here somewhere. I'm just going to kind of winging it.
We'll show you where more snow is expected and who will finally see some relief.
For us, like I said, it was a good treat, and I wish I had another day to take the granddaughter sledding.
The city that will see New Year's Day rain for the first time in 20 years.
Be sure you bring some ponchos out there. It will be pouring rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning.
Why the coldest temperatures of the season have yet to arrive.
Well, it's called seasonal lag.
And the unique way people are getting rid of their old Christmas tree and putting it to good use.
And they greatly enjoy munching on the trees.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. A storm system that's been wreaking havoc in the U.S., causing flight cancellations, knocking out power, and causing chaos on the roads, is shuffling off the East Coast today. It's responsible for recent blizzards, ice storms, and more. Now, some snowed-in or delayed travelers might be able to return home safely or join family and friends for upcoming New Year. But as Amy Kiley reports, hazards remain.
Winter weather continues today. More snow is piling onto existing drifts in the Great Lakes region. Forecasters say this week's totals could reach 3 feet in some areas. Many Americans across the country also face bitter cold today. That follows days of brutal storms in the northeastern quadrant of the U.S. Meteorologists say blizzard conditions made it hard to see in some Midwestern areas.
I mean, road's up here somewhere. I'm just going to kind of winging it.
Officials report hundreds of accidents on affected roadways. Michigan State Police say at least 20 cars and semi-trucks were in this pileup in Detroit. Some New Englanders also are grappling with recent snow and ice up to half an inch thick. Down south, the National Weather Service says parts of West Texas had a winter storm warning last night. Even some travelers outside storm areas say they've been affected.
It got delayed, then it got canceled. Then we got a notification saying that there were no flights going in and out for 2 days. Just so many people here that are traveling, delays with the weather, going up north.
FlightAware reports more than 900 U.S. cancellations and over 9,000 delays yesterday.
I would say get to the airport on time, relax. Things get be patient. Things get complicated at times, and just be prepared for slight delays.
And portions of Southern California are preparing for more wet weather. The region has seen rounds of atmospheric rivers bringing heavy rain and wind, and the new rain could last into the new year, meaning for the first time in 20 years, it could rain on California's Rose Parade. Meteorologist Ilya Naiman has more.
We've got a new storm out there, and that is going to be churning all sorts of tropical moisture. Look at these bright contrasting clouds. They are thunderstorms and heavy rain, and this is the direction of the flow of the precipitable water or the atmospheric river coming up from the equator. That, my friends, will give us a chance to ring in the new year on the wet side. However, the Rose Parade in Pasadena, look at that. It will be the bullseye. We could get anywhere from 3 to 4, maybe more inches of rain right there around Pasadena. People travel from all over the nation to park and to sit and to camp on those sidewalks. Be sure you bring some ponchos out there. It will be pouring rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Once again, the flowers will love it. The people, hopefully, will be prepared.
And despite the fact that we have already passed the shortest day of the year and days are now getting longer, the coldest temperatures for the country are yet to come. And that's because of something called seasonal lag. Meteorologist Jeff Exline explains.
The shortest amount of daylight already behind us. That was marked by the winter solstice on December the 21st. But our coldest weather is often ahead of us. That typically occurs during the middle of January. Now, why is that? Well, it's called seasonal lag. You see, 70% of the globe is covered in water, and it takes longer for that water in the oceans to cool because water has a much higher heat capacity than air does. So think of it this way. If you're going to make some ice cubes, you put water in your freezer. It doesn't instantly turn to ice. There's a lag, right? It takes a little bit of time for that to occur. That's the same thing that's going on in our atmosphere. Although our shortest amount of daylight is now behind us, our coldest weather is typically in front of us, and that's typically occurring during the middle of January.
And as it gets colder, more people will flock to ski resorts and snow tubing hills for winter fun, but officials warn these activities come with serious risks, and there are things you need to do to make sure your winter activities don't turn into a major medical issue. Mark Shawlett has that story.
We want people to enjoy the outdoors. That's how you stay sane in cold winter months. But what we don't want is unnecessary injuries.
And as an emergency care physician at McLaren, Northern Michigan, Dr. Jonathan Altieri has seen it all and seems to see it about this time of year every year.
What do we typically see in the emergency room with winter sport activity injuries is usually people traveling from out of town. They're getting back into a sport, they're new to a sport, and they're really just not aware of how dangerous that sport could be if not practiced safely.
Of course, folks get hurt any time of year, but when it comes to recreational activities, winter brings on a different batch and leads to different diagnoses here at the ER. A lot of them have to do with us jumping right into an activity that we haven't done since the last time the snow was on the ground. We're rusty and out of shape.
Isn't that the truth? You can't go from 0 to 100. You got to warm up a little bit. You got to protect yourself out there. And just remember, easy does it. Enjoy yourself, but don't start hitting the black diamonds first.
Every winter, folks end up, many from out of town, visiting the local ski slopes and get the opportunity to meet Dr. Altieri. They have him treat what they just misused in a handful of winter activities. Ideally, preparing for winter activities should have taken place weeks, if not months ago, with strength and conditioning workouts to prepare our bodies for the winter. But even if that didn't happen, there are still things local emergency room doctors say all of us can do to keep our wintertime fun just that, fun.
Number one, you got to wear a helmet if you're participating in a risky sport, skiing, snowboarding. You have to protect that noggin. People are going to get injured. It's like doing anything in life. Things will happen, but number one, wear a helmet. Number two, if you're new to a sport, well, seek out maybe some of the easier slopes, or seek out participating with someone who's experienced in the sport. And number three is just like you're going to the gym or doing any other extracurricular activities, stretch. Okay, make sure that you warm up before you get out there and that your body's prepared, especially if you haven't done it in 8 or 9 months.
Residents in Illinois are in cleanup and recovery mode after a tornado tore through the region on Sunday. Ben Wonke spoke with a woman who described the moment the roof was torn from her home.
A terrifying sight Sunday afternoon in Long Creek when Tiffany Campani saw a tornado barreling towards her home.
It came from that way, straight towards the house, shook my whole house. I grabbed my daughter and pinned her underneath me and crouched down, and then the roof fell off.
She says her husband was stuck at the store and started screaming for him once she realized the roof was gone.
I thank God that my best friend was with me and her husband, and they helped me through the panic of it all. My neighbors down that way and that way bust through the door as soon as it was over and grabbed the kids, and we all went over to the neighbor's house, and it was I'm very grateful for the whole neighborhood.
A couple of miles away at the corner of Walmsley and Sand Creek, one home's garage and roof completely collapsed. Greg Bandelow lives down the road and came over to make sure nobody was trapped inside.
The deputy sheriff was here and nobody in the house, so we're kind of glad of that, but they found out they were in Mexico. You get a call in Mexico that your house got hit by a tornado, that's devastating, I would say.
Bandelow said the family had just moved into the home a few weeks ago. Over at the Campani house, cleanup is in the early stages.
We're getting all of our stuff that we can salvage out of the house, and thankfully we have insurance, so they're here to help us work through the process. I've never been through any of this in my whole life. No fires, no tornadoes, no water, no nothing. This is our first house, so it's very shocking.
For all the latest weather news and video, be sure to check us out on social media. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll head to Texas and find out why this is prime allergy season for the Lone Star State. And we'll show you the unique way some people are disposing of their live Christmas trees.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. Colder air is rushing into the Northeast. Today there'll be a stiff westerly wind. Most areas will have a hard time getting out of the 20s. Some areas will stay in the teens. Factor in the wind chill will be down in the single numbers. Here we are during the morning hours. We have some clouds and sun. Notice lake effect snow gets going again off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. That's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll call it partly sunny on Wednesday. Clouds will quickly increase, and I think there'll be some snow showers for New Year's Eve.
I'm meteorologist Jasmine Lomax with a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. Some snow showers are possible throughout the day, but the big change is that it's going to be a lot colder today following the latest cold front. As we head into the night, some snow showers possible coming off of the Great Lakes. Afternoon temperatures will rise to the 20s and 30s, below average across the region. Then by the morning, temperatures will drop down to the teens and the 20s, staying below freezing.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl, tracking another chilly day across the southeast. Temperatures across most of the area will be in the 30s, 40s. Some communities along the Gulf will be in the low 50s. Now, south of the I-4 corridor, that's when things get a little bit toastier as that front continues to make its way through. We'll be in the upper 60s and lower 70s there. A little bit of upper level cirrus cloud activity, but besides that, not much to talk about as high pressure takes control, keeping the area clear, calm, and mostly dry.
I'm Joe DiCarlo, meteorologist with KABB and WOAI in San Antonio, Texas, and you're watching the National Weather Desk.
In some parts of the country, like Texas, it's allergy season. Down south, it's known as cedar fever. Some say it's brought on by the winter onslaught of cedar pollen, but as meteorologist Chicago Windler explains, the trees in question are not cedar trees, and they serve a very important purpose.
They're the trees everyone loves to hate. Ash juniper, aka cedar trees. And this time of year in Central Texas, they're the talk of the town. Ooh.
People just hate it.
The yellow dust that covers everything. Oh, Lord. All I know is, here we go. It's time for me to get sick.
The congestion, the sinus pressure, and the headache, it just makes me feel so sick and lethargic.
The hills are alive with the sound of wind, spreading the dreaded cedar pollen as it blows.
So you can see we're coming up on a nice, beautiful ash juniper right here.
And I can just hear the collective groans of everybody. They're saying, no, not these.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're not bad.
They're not bad. You know, they're a native tree that's been in this area for thousands of years.
And over the years, we've come to call them cedar trees. But they're not really cedars.
They're not truly cedars. Yeah, they're ash juniper trees. Juniperus ashii is the scientific name. You know, we don't have a true cedar in this part of Texas.
What we do have is the endangered golden-cheeked warbler.
The iconic Austin bird that everyone's seen with the pretty golden face.
Jeremy Hull from Travis County Natural Resources says the 33,000-acre Balcones Canyonlands Preserve protects the nesting grounds for the warbler.
Their nests are made 100% of ash juniper, mature ash juniper bark that they strip off and use spider webs to make these cute little cup nests.
While the warblers winter in Mexico, ash junipers, unlike most trees, pollinate in winter. Cold fronts or other wind makers trigger the pollen explosion, and cedar fever ensues.
Miserable. Congested.
You can see the yellow clouds going through the air. It's just, you know, something you have to live with.
More reasons to put up with the pollen. Ash junipers are soil builders.
This is all juniper that's decomposed.
They're also nursery trees.
They protect anything growing up underneath them, such as oak trees and holly.
Ash junipers get a bad rap, but they're not just beneficial, they're crucial.
The bird relies on it. We have to have it. The preserve is here to protect for that species. They're only found here in the entire world, and without the tree, we don't have the warbler.
In western Travis County, Texas, I'm Chicago Windler for the National Weather Desk.
And Christmas itself has come and gone, but many people will hold on to their trees into the new year. At some point, though, it's time to let them go. There are some unique ways you can dispose of those live trees come the new year. Here again is Mark Shollet with more.
Some of them are maybe a little more shy and timid. Others of them are extremely people-oriented and very friendly and want to be right in the middle of the action. So they're definitely fun to work with.
Yep, these are some of Sam Griffin's co-workers. You see, she's the Farm Operations and Sustainability Coordinator at the Grand Traverse Regional Land Conservancy. And that means she's in charge of keeping these 10 working goats working.
The type of work they do for us is we actually put them out on our nature preserve and use them to help control invasive species on the property.
That's during the summer. For a goat, it's a bountiful buffet of plants we don't want here. But when the summer sun sets, the goats give up those greens.
When they go to the barn for the wintertime after they're done with their seasonal work, their diet typically consists of just some hay flakes every day and then a little bit of added grain for some extra calories.
Which is kind of boring for the goats. So a few years back, the Land Conservancy started accepting your used Christmas trees after the holidays.
It adds a little bit of extra spice to their diet, and conifers are actually really rich in vitamin C, so it adds some extra nutrition to the goats' very limited diet this time of year, and they greatly enjoy munching on the trees.
Yep, these goats will eat your tree.
They definitely are not picky eaters.
But they actually seem to like these, and it turns out eating a Christmas tree provides more than just nutrients.
It makes the goats have to think a little bit and work to get their food, and then there's the different texture, and it brings it back to more how they would naturally eat in a more rural habitat.
It's a win-win. You get rid of your tree, and the goats get a mental workout and a tasty treat.
They do not shy away from needles or thorns or even what we would think is very unappetizing pieces of bark.
Yep, they don't leave much when they're done. And what they do, well, the Land Conservancy, doing what they do, will make sure what's left over isn't left behind.
After the goats are done eating on the trees, we like to find even a third use for the leftover timber. So sometimes they'll be put in streams for fish habitat, or we're exploring some other ways to break them down and use them as composting.
They really are the greatest. Well, it's been a big year for weather and climate events around the world, and we've covered many of them on our podcast, Off the Radar. In this week's episode, host Emily Gracie is joined by associate producer Brian Pietris as they count down their top 10 episodes of the year. Here's a clip.
All right, my number 8 is Anchor Moms Reflect on Hurricane Helene.
That was a big one. I have that on my list as well, a little further down.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think this one I liked for one because Katie and Karen are so great. And Anchor Moms is no longer in production, but the episodes are still there. So I highly recommend, especially if you're a parent, to go back and listen to their episodes. They're just such a great duo. They're heartfelt. They lived through Hurricane Helene in Asheville, and their parents and their news anchors, and so they had great insight into what you need to survive a hurricane with your family. So it was great. It was weather, it was a human story, it was all the things I love about Off the Radar kind of combined into one. Okay, well, do you have a number 7?
I do. My number 7 was Rip Currents, Tech Tools for Survival. Kind of similar to the tsunami episode. Rip currents just really scare me every time I go in the water.
They're scary.
They are, yes. Isn't it like one of the number one causes of water fatalities?
Yeah, and in hurricanes, it's like one of the biggest killers when it comes to hurricane fatalities. So when we were talking about hurricanes as a whole, like rip currents continue to kill people, whereas all the other deaths are kind of going down from storm surge and inland flooding.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like every time I go into the water, especially at the ocean, I'm always reminding myself, like, swim parallel to the shore, to the shore. And like, thankfully I've never had to use that, but it was just another really this episode was just another really good one where something scary and universally heard of, but maybe not universally known or understood, was broken down with really applicable safety advice, which is, I think, like I said, my favorite category of off the radar episodes.
Cool. Well, hopefully it brought you some comfort.
It did, definitely.
You can find Off the Radar anywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure you hit follow so you don't miss all the new episodes coming in January. And time now for a short break. But first, we soar over Florida's overseas highway to the Keys.
I'm meteorologist Marshall McPeak. We still have some snow showers likely for the Great Lakes, and that warm front really not providing a whole lot of warm air at all. There will be some sunshine off to the south. So Kansas City gets some sunshine, 42 degrees for your Tuesday, but snow showers from Minneapolis to Green Bay to Grand Rapids all the way down into Columbus. Cincinnati and Lexington will only have highs in the 20s.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Downright cold this morning. Oklahoma at 22, Amarillo at around 23, 30s all the way across from Shreveport into Dallas into Houston still. A little warmer as you get down into South Texas. High pressure moves in today. That means plenty of sunshine and a much warmer day coming out for most of the region as temperatures really rebound quite a bit. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia, and that's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there and a good Tuesday morning to everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, it is finally seasonably cool here in late December in the PNW, but fairly quiet from Seattle to Boise. Temperatures in Jackson Hole just barely cracking freezing. Meanwhile, Valley of the Sun, appropriately named this time of year, was 77 out of Phoenix and 75 out of Los Angeles. Most of the wet weather in California staying offshore, and again, cold but foggy in the PNW. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, when it's cold, you might want to go out and warm your car up before you get into it and take off for work, right? But it could be bad for your car. Let's turn to meteorologist Christina Ernie to find out why. We're having trouble with that report. We will get back to that later. In the meantime, you can find us on all your social media accounts. Just search for National Weather Desk. We'll be right back. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We will post Christina Ernie's package on car safety on our YouTube page and also air it tomorrow morning. In the meantime, thank you much for joining us. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. Make it a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.